So if I could introduce myself, my name is Nigel Upton. I've been with HP for 31 years or so. I joined when child labour was legal. And I know this is tough straight after lunch, so I bear your indulgence. And my colleague Andrea, who's visiting us from Rome. And we just wanted to take the opportunity just to go through our story with you and explain kind of what we were doing. For telcos, HP does a lot of business with very large operators. For us, it's about a $7 to $8 billion business a year. We've been doing it for a long time, and we're heavily involved in things from the signaling side, from the network, through to OSS systems, BSS systems. And our belief is that the experience of any content, the operators will control this more and more. You've seen them miss the first wave, and all the over-the-top vendors, Apple, everybody, the operators were left going, what the hell happened? All this revenue is being driven by their networks, and they're not getting any of the revenue. So the second wave now of CDN and also machine-to-machine means the operators are going to be a lot more aggressive on monetizing their network. And they can make or break the experience of any content coming to the end user, as you know. And you've seen here in the US, if you start downloading lots of videos, AT&T are going to start charging for you, and they're going to give you tiered pricing, and they're going to control how much data you actually download. So what we've done in CDN is, those of you that were here when Gonzalo presented the Telefonica CDN network and the deployment of that, HP deployed that for Telefonica. They're our largest customer for CDN, and we're used to working with these tier one operators that have very large infrastructures. So we've spent a lot of time working on this, from providing the infrastructure through to the links into the billing system, the OSS system, making sure that what we built is designed for an operator to be able to control the CDN and deliver the content in a way that makes sense for them. Now, what I'm going to do is just walk you through what we see as the value chain and what we're doing with the operators, and then my colleague Andrea is going to seize the controls and quickly go through and describe our own offering. Without the network, CDN doesn't exist, and what we're really interested in is that quality of experience, the end user. So for the network, for the value that we see, primarily, and again, what I'm doing is just explaining to you where we've probably spoken to 50, 60, 70 of the world's largest operators. And the first things they're trying to achieve is to make sure that they reduce the cost of the network that they have. So for them, they're starting with cost reduction. And so what we do is spend a lot of time trying to make sure that the network is a lot more efficient. And so we do a lot of things, whether it's caching, whether it's web acceleration, whether it's pure CDN, it's all one thing to us. So we're moving different dials, putting in different technologies to be able to make the network a lot more efficient. And it all depends, and it all has to be customized for that particular operator's flow. Whether they're based primarily in Latin America or whether they're based in Asia, their patterns of content demand are very different. So we spend a lot of time making sure that we optimize the network and we make it as efficient as possible. We then look at the monetization piece. And when you speak to these large operators, because they missed the ball on the first wave, Apple must have thought this was the most amazing, funniest thing ever, that they're able to drive huge amounts of revenue based on somebody else's network. They didn't build the network. They didn't spend billions of dollars putting in an infrastructure that then allowed Apple to become the most valuable company on the planet. So with App Store and everything else that you download, I mean, the operators, they may take their time understanding things, but when they get it, they hold on to it. Actually, so the idea of being able to monetize that network and make it efficient for them is critical. And this is a top agenda item for every large operator today. I don't believe, and certainly everything we're seeing, that the standalone CDN players will survive long term because the last mile is controlled by the operators. And the operators will control that. And they deploy technologies like policy engines to be able to, I won't use the word throttling, but they'll manage how the data flows in, and they'll prioritize. And so without the operators who control the last mile, without them being able to have the tools in place to be able to manage this efficiently, they're simply not going to be able to monetize that network effectively. So it's, if you like, it's a circle. For us, it's to be able to make that quality of experience much better for the end user, and that comes through network efficiencies and being able to use the very latest technologies, particularly in things like caching and web acceleration. We spend a lot of time being able to make sure that the experience for the end user, the business to consumer, the B2C, is as strong and as powerful as it possibly can be. Because if you can't deliver the content effectively, and you're seeing all the different devices, I mean, we HP, we make a lot of devices. We made a tablet at one stage. We're now about to introduce another tablet running Windows 8, but it's a long story with HP on tablets. But the form factor that you have from your phone to tablet to laptop to Ultrabook, all of these form factors, they are absolutely critical to make sure that that experience is the same on each one, and that you can take one, be able to seamlessly plug it into another, and have that consistent experience. So within the CDN, if you look at that top arrow, that's kind of the way things always were. The content providers working with service providers, being able to put content and advertising on-demand services and applications. The piece that's really changing is that bottom piece, that quality of experience. That bottom arrow, the quality of experience, is the piece where we're spending most of our time working. And the being able to show that if the content providers are working with the telcos, the service providers that are able to provide the best quality of experience and the best global footprint, those are the ones that will win out. So again, excuse me for the complexity of the slides, and they're available afterwards, and you're more than welcome to come and get them from us. But what we're demonstrating is how to be able to shift from the way things were to the way things should be, and for us it's all around that quality of experience and the investment. And if nothing else, the lessons learned from the operators after the over-the-top experience from the Googles and Apples is that being able to provide particularly not only the core CDN services, the media as a service, but the value-added services. The amount of data that the operators have for being able to provide content like this is massive and incredibly valuable. And that analytics piece, as they're getting the flood of data through, that's a very powerful revenue generator for the operators. They can sell that information back to all sorts of, whether it's the actual people providing the content, whether it's advertising engines, but that data, particularly the value-added services around analytics, and analytics is such a big market today. Analytics is one of the big value-added services that is seeing tremendous growth, and if you go to Silicon Valley or any of those where you're seeing new investment being made, analytics, particularly real-time analytics, is where a massive amount of money is flooding in because of the value that's going to be unleashed from that power of analytics on real time. So you see there the rest of the value-added services that the operators can provide, from merchandising, promotion, social intelligence, and recommendation. So what I'd like to do is everything, of course, based on the cloud, is from here, the way the service providers view it, they view it through the lens of which of their, what service are they providing their actual customers. Remember, the Tier 1 operators, most of their revenue, or a huge amount of their revenue, is driven from very large enterprise customers. And those large enterprise customers, for CDNs, they're able to offer a particularly powerful set of acceleration services. They also are able to reduce costs. And again, I realize this is an eye test, so I'm going to go through this quickly. But for the Tier 2 and Tier 3 customers of the service providers, again, this is a very powerful way for the Tier 2 and 3s to avoid having to set up a complete CDN themselves, but leverage off the Tier 1s. There's benefits for the broadcaster, for the publishers, and for e-commerce. So the net of our of the work we've done and the amount of time we've spent talking with operators and the experiences we've had, particularly with Telefonica, with the global rollout, is that we've learned some stuff and we've developed a package which we call HP Speed Video. And that Speed Video, what we're particularly interested in is being able to talk through where we're investing and get your feedback on whether you think these are the areas. Remember who we're selling to. We're selling primarily to service providers. Our view is that the world will switch and service providers have too much control and we're too badly burnt from the over-the-top experience in round one that they're really going to be able to control that quality of experience through things like policy engines so that they can manage the bandwidth through to the last mile. So Andrea is going to go through and explain the Speed Video architecture. And again, just really interested in your feedback. This is where we're investing at the moment, and would welcome your comments on it. So, Andrea.
Okay, let me introduce the main aspect, what we call the pillar of our CDN solution. So, our CDN solution has been thinking for performance and for telco. So, it's not something that has been designed over the top, but was designed to work closely with telco networks. So the pillar of our solution are full content management, quality of experience, and system management. Full content management. CDN is not only video delivery, it's web acceleration, transparent caching, and wherever, but at the same time is also strong integration with content management. So if you manage a CDN, yes, you have to distribute the content, but at the same time, as Nigel showed before, you can create a revenue stream also integrating the content management in your platform, especially for telco that now all telcos say that they have cloud offering. But really, the CDN allowed to enhance the cloud offering, especially on the media, because the telco can join the content distribution and the content production in an integrated fashion and providing a new services for their customer. Quality experience is critical. Performance for a CDN is fundamental. People expecting to watch video on the internet like on television. This is the target. So performance is not an option. It's fundamental. Internet means speed. All the people talking about internet are obsessed by speed. Google is really obsessed by speed. And any people you talk with on internet, any customer of telco that want to be on internet is obsessed by speed. Speed means more revenues or lose money. Moving from access page from 1 second to half second means double the revenue for an e-commerce company. So performance is not an option. And last but not least, this stuff is complex, and you need something easy that allow you to manage easily this stuff. So system management of a CDN. CDN is a network. Yes, it's a lot of PC distributed in the network, but the complexity of this stuff has to be easy. So the system management, the integration of system management for this stuff is a fundamental aspect too. These are the three pillars on which our CDN has been built. Let me present the key fact. First point, our CDN is a telco carrier CDN. It's not over the top. Our CDN takes care about the network topology. So you can define, you can explain into our CDN your network topology, what links are more expensive, what other links are less expensive, and the CDN takes care about that. So it's not a question to spread content as the CDN wants on your network. You can explaining to the CDN what are the best link or the topology to be used. End-to-end solution. I already mentioned full content management. This is an important element. If you don't want to be a pipe, a dumb pipe like Telefonica guys like to mention, you have to provide services on top, integrating services on top of the network. Standard platform. This is another aspect. Dell mentioned one of the key aspects is that you have to leverage the standard platform. your telcos, most of them, and you know better than me what's the cost of not standard hardware. If you can run a CDN software on any PC, you can leverage your data center. If you need special hardware to do something, you cannot do that. Standard hardware costs drop 3 times faster than not standard. And moreover, any telco is looking for a cloud approach, a virtualization approach to be more precise, and you have to leverage this virtualization on your data center using our CDN that is fully software-based. Complete media environment. This is, I told you, it's something that I say again and again, and high performance. Performance is something that you cannot miss. Quality of experience, video have to be like television, and content have to be faster too. Because if you sell a CDN to an e-commerce company, this e-commerce company make money. And if the e-commerce website cannot be accessed so fast or immediately, they will lose money. So, sorry for this complex slide, but it's representing our view about the CDN. So we say CDN is not only video, it's content distribution, but it's something more. It's an integrated platform. You cannot put a CDN here, network here, cloud here. You have to synergize all this stuff. And all this stuff have to exchange information. CDN have to provide CDRs to your building, have to be integrated in your OSS system, have to be integrated with the what we call production environment for media. And obviously, have to be integrated with analytics to control how the video, the content are delivered, but also are they consumed by your subscriber, because this is an important element to do marketing. Another view is the following, like the pipe. So, starting from left to right, we have the production environment. So, you have to manage the content in a secure way. You have to provide the system to produce, to distribute, to manage the workflow, because remember that if you provide an environment for a broadcaster, a small broadcaster, now there is a technology switch in the media companies. They are moving from, let me say, a manual approach to a full digital one. And what they need is obviously complete environment, broadcasting management system, workflow to manage content from the beginning of this content to the end of this content. That means how the advertising have to be inserted in the channel, how to be optimized, how you can aggregate the content. All this stuff is on the left side. And this is a service that telco can provide to the broadcaster in a cloud environment, because cloud is very trendy. But the reason is that this is an additional stream. It's a way to sell this cloud that for most of the operators is something that they would like to do, but they are not able to do. Media cloud is an opportunity, especially if you integrate with the CDN environment. So, next two slides, we're representing a content distribution environment provided in our CDN and content production environment. So, this is what we provide for our carrier-grade, cost-effective, and capillary CDN. Capillarity is an important element. I mean, quality experience, TV-like video, watching, etc. To do that, you have to be very close to the end users. And telco can do that. But they need a cost-effective solution, because if your streaming server costs a lot, you cannot distribute close to the end users. But if this machine is a standard PC, you can do that. So capillarity is an important element that a telco can leverage, but an OTT cannot do that. So from the content delivery point of view, our solution provides video, video on demand, video live delivery, content delivery, web acceleration, transparent caching, geolocation capability, all the content distribution capability. From the OSS and BSS integration, obviously we can integrate with existing environment, or we can provide off-the-shelf solution. But what is important? That you have to build the services, so you have to use integration with your BSS, or you have to provide a billing engine. Portals, obviously you need portal for administration to provide access to your customer, because your customer need access to see what's happened on the CDN they are buying for your telcos. And also the end users need portal to access to watch whatever they want. And last but not least, analytics. Analytics is a key aspect. A lot of companies make a lot of money providing analytics. Analytics is the way to understand how this new material is consumed by the end users. So to do analysis to see what is more, what are the more viewing video, or how this video are watched, or how the content are managed. Analytics is fundamental for marketing purpose, for you that provide the overall environment, but also for your customer that provide the content. Content production. So content production is an opportunity for telco to provide media cloud to broadcaster and producer. This is a very important message. Moving from manual to digital world costs a lot for a broadcaster, and not all broadcasters can be interested or cannot afford. Or other point, sometimes the production of video require a lot of resource for a small certain times. So for example, when you produce a movie and you need this, for example, the typical example is a Kung Fu Panda movie, they need DreamWorks used a lot of HP machine to do that, but for a specific time, because they needed more than 1,000 machine to do the rendering of the film, of the movie. But they need this machine for a small amount of time. This is the opportunity for a cloud environment to be flexible and to offer capability to do that. And our CDN, through obviously with HP product and partner product, because what is important in our CDN that obviously HP hasn't all the product to cover a media environment, but we establish a relationship with the most important player to provide the full integrated ecosystem. And in our ecosystem, you can have media management, so content archiving, indexing, management, content editing, so you can edit the content, you can do the production, rendering, and content distribution and control of that. So you can also do campaign control for the advertising, or obviously you can secure your content. So last slides, and I'm in time. This is our advertising, HP advertising. Why you have to select HP on that game and not another company? The reason of that is the following. We are a media industry leader. HP is recognized as a leader in the media industry. We have a long experience on that. We have a lot of product on that. And we have a lot of relationship with our partner to that. Moreover, another aspect of the CDN that is a worldwide environment. Generally, when you need the CDN, you don't need the CDN for a city. You need it for a country, or you need worldwide, or to cover regions. So you need a partner that is able to do the delivery and to implement the solution wherever you need it. Can be just in New York, can be in the whole US, can be in North America, can be worldwide. HP can support you wherever you need that. And last but not least, that our solution, our CDN, is the best-in-class solution. That's it.